Hey everybody, welcome back to DeHaven Family Farm. Today we are in the garage that's slightly cleaner than it used to be, and we're going to be working on this sprayer behind me. This is a 3-point hitch. It's a crop care brand. You can see there it says ATX60. It has the boom kit on it, and it's just a nice, simple, quality sprayer. But it also has the hand wand, which I don't really ever use. But it's a little bit, the tank size is a little small for me. The other issue that we've had is it has a 12-volt pump. Here, I'll walk around the other side so you can kind of see the numbers and stuff on it here. So this electric pump does not keep up very well with the T-jet nozzles that we have. These nozzles put out right around 18 gallons an acre of liquid, and that would be at about 5 miles an hour, just to, for calculation purposes. But in order to achieve that, we have to be running at about 40 psi, and this pump with those bigger nozzles in it will not keep up. It'll get about 36, 37 psi, but it won't hit the 40. It just does not have the flow. So that's something else we're going to upgrade. So as you can see sitting here, that's the 60 gallon. This is a 150 gallon tank that we're going to fit onto that frame. We also are upgrading to a PTO pump. You can see I was opening some of the pieces here. This is not a huge pump. We did not need a big expensive pump because we just don't need quite that much flow. This one is just about double the flow of that one, so I think we'll be okay there. So these are just some of the pieces. There's an adapter for the pump to fit on the PTO shaft. There's the bracket for the pump with the chain, some hose and things here. I have just an on-off valve, a strainer assembly we're going to put in there, some line. I'm going to use 2 big ratchet straps to hold it on there since I don't have clamps. This one has the clamps, they won't fit. So basically that's what we're going to be doing. That valve assembly will handle up to 100 psi. So I did talk to the company that I bought this from. They also sell all these sprayer parts. And I told them what I was doing, and they said that this valve body assembly will be fine because I'm only going to be running about 40 psi, and this system here, even though it looks kind of cheap and plastic, will handle up to 100 psi. So I do not need that. Even if I thought about extending the boom some, even if I make the booms bigger, I still, maybe I'll get to 50 psi, so that'll be fine. We don't need to worry about that. So what we basically need to do is, here's one of our elbow that we have to put in. We have to run the plumbing. It's a little different. That tank over there sucks from the top and will feed back into the bottom, and it has a separate drain. This one, everything comes out the bottom, so we'll have to run one of our lines back down and around, if we're going to do a circulate, because you can do like a mix type action with that valve assembly. So yeah, that's what we're going to be working on. I am not going to film, geez, I've talked for 4 minutes already. I'm not going to film every last step of the process here, because this is not a how-to video. I mean, if anybody has questions, feel free to ask. But this is just a way to take a sprayer that's practically new and sort of upgrade it and make it a little bit more useful. They do make a sprayer with a 150-gallon tank already on it with the boom kits and stuff, but I forget what it was, 3,000 or 4,000, I think. And this one's already paid for. So far, I have about $700, I think, in the upgrade. With the new pump and all the pieces and the new tank and everything. So it should only cost me about $700 to upgrade this one. So if you add the $700 or so to the cost of what that one was, you're still way under the cost of buying one of theirs that already is 150 gallon. And part of that is because their assembly down here, like the stand and the frame and everything, is a little bit beefier. I don't plan on setting this thing on the ground with that full. It may happen, but I think that'll hold it. So we're going to do some modification. But anyway, I won't show you exactly every step, but I will come back along the way here. I'll probably work on this over a couple days, so you might see some different footage. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing, and stay tuned. For you guys, it'll only be a second. For me, it could be hours, but I'll be back. Okay, let me show you the progress. There's the small tank. There's the big tank. Here's a couple of brackets I made to help support underneath the big tank. And then I'm going to take these other brackets that came off. They kind of a square bend, but they'll flex. And these are going to go down. Let's see if I can kind of show you here. They'll curve down around and form a circle with the pieces that I made. And that's how we'll attach the tank to the stand. I'm going to take out, there's some brackets down here now. I'm going to take out and drill in to mount my brackets. And we'll be able to support the tank. There's some angle pieces back here. I don't know if you can really see them right here. So we'll be able to use that to help support the tank in the back. And then when we get it positioned, we have this area here that will also be able to put, I'm going to put a piece coming across, going across this way in the front, which will help support the tank in the front. One of the things I'm going to do, I have a bunch of pieces of 3/4 inch rubber stall matting left from the barn remodeling project, and I'm actually going to cut strips of that down to line the inside of these two brackets and the bracket that goes across the front. We'll put a piece of that rubber matting in there too, just to cushion it a little bit. And that way when we snug it down, you know, and all the weight's sitting there, it won't be rubbing. I mean, it shouldn't be rubbing, but it'll be supported a little nicer that way. And yes, those brackets are different sizes. Local supply place had 1 2-inch and 1 3-inch piece of metal. So, you know, once it all gets put together, I don't think anybody's going to notice, but that was just the way it was, and I was not going to wait and order another one to match or go run all over the place and waste half a day to get a different piece of metal. So that's fine with me. I have to paint them yet gray. Right now they're just, you know, bare metal. But that's an update so far on where we're at. I will come back and update you again when I make some more progress. I'll probably do a 2-part thing so this doesn't get too long. So yep, I'll see you guys in a minute.